Hello guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new to my channel, hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Summer. In regards to Bushiri's escape from South Africa, there's just been stuff coming up that I find scary. Really, I find this scary. So basically, a reputable newspaper has published information explaining how the Bushiris allegedly escaped from South Africa. It's been talked about that visit of the Malawian president to South Africa was specifically to go fetch the Bushiris, because they said his visit was not even necessary. He didn't go there for something really important. You know, considering that there is COVID, that visit could wait because it's not essential visit to South Africa. I'll read it to you guys. A fugitive Prophet Bushiri and his wife, Mary, were issued with diplomatic passports bearing decoy names and applied with cosmetic facial changes before being smuggled out of South Africa. A Malawian President Lazarus Chakwera's hired jet, sources said. Now, people are actually demanding for the CCTV of the airport on the day the president left because they want to see. The sources have said that the amount of people that came in the president's jet are not the same amount that left. They said 3 extra people left with him, and they said 2 of them were matching the height of Bushiri and his wife, and they said the 3rd person was their aide. People are saying they want to see the CCTV of the day the president left because that would prove if these allegations are right. Several insiders in the government security cluster, including diplomatic and military intelligence sources, police officers and bureaucrats, told the Sunday Independent is believed to be very reliable. There was even a comment I saw when somebody said, Sunday Independent have always spread the truth. They are known for reliable information. Told the Sunday Independent this week that Bushiri left in Chakwera's plane last Friday following an operation planned by the Malawian intelligence officials and executed by its embassy in Pretoria. They said Bushiri and his wife were fetched from their home in Centurion in a Malawian embassy vehicle ahead of a scheduled 6 p.m. flight. As Chakwera wrapped up his meeting with President Cyril Ramaphosa, they were driven to Air Force Base Waterloof as part of an elaborate plot that involved senior Malawian and South African politicians. That is scary. That is scary. If this is true, it is scary because these are supposed to be the presidents. How can 2 presidents plan to take part in injustice, take part in a fraud, take part in helping an alleged criminal to escape from one country to the other? Like, if this is true, it shows that like this is completely effed up. Like, seriously, if this is true, it is scary. If the presidents of 2 countries can help a fugitive escape, like seriously, he said, as part of an elaborate plot that involved senior Malawian and South African politicians and their government officials and the alleged exchange of money. How can the citizens of these 2 countries feel safe under the leadership of these 2 presidents if this is true? The plot, which kicked off with whisking off Bushiri's children back to Malawi, was hatched 3 weeks ago after the prophet complained that Chakwera, who is the president of Malawi, his own country, complained to the president through embassy officials that he had abandoned him after campaigning for him and forwarding his successful presidential bid. Sources said the rattled Bushiri, who is the spiritual leader of the enlightened DCGC, sought the Malawian president's intervention after his lawyers told him he faced a minimum 15-year jail term because the National Prosecuting Authority had a strong case of fraud and money laundering against him. Ramaphosa's spokesperson dismissed claims that the president worked with Chakwera to help Bushiri evade justice by arranging a decoy state visit. You see that? Decoy state visit and allowing his ministers and officials to cooperate with the Malawians. You see that people are saying that state visit was unwarranted, okay? And then think about it. How come it was during his state visit that Bushiri, that was previously refused refused bail because they said he was a flight risk. They had enough information to say he was a flight risk because he had moved his most expensive cars to his country, Malawi. That was enough proof that he was planning to evade justice. Yet they still went ahead and gave him and granted him bail while his president was visiting. Think about the timing. Okay, then he says there is no basis to that. And you would have seen it in the week when the president gave interviews in which he said this was disappointing. And he said that he had asked for the report to be prepared for him to give the background to what happened here. The visit was part of a solidarity tour that President Chakwera was undertaking around the region. It's pretty similar to what our president did in 2018 when he went to Zimbabwe, Mozambique, Angola, Namibia to introduce himself to neighboring leaders and to discuss relations between the countries. But the thing is this, in 2018, there was no COVID. You see the difference, okay? President Chakwera undertook a similar solidarity tour and it was deemed feasible and safe to undertake the visit physically with the necessary COVID-19 controls in place. I'll read this part. It says, according to highly placed sources, however, this is how the Bushiris have been smuggled. Bushiri approached Chakwera for help through the Malawian embassy. Chakwera instructed the embassy to hatch a plan to save Bushiri and his multi-million rand assets or smuggle him out of South Africa. Malawian intelligence operative at the embassy considered options, including smuggling him through Mozambique, whisking him off in the presidential jet, or lobbying for Mary's acquittal and lesser sentence for Bushiri. After spending 2 weeks in jail, Bushiri was given the options and flatly refused the South African jail option. Chakwera, through the Malawian embassy, then lobbied the Ramaphosa administration for assistance. The Malawians banked on their constitution, which protects diplomats and bars extradition unless the suspect was sought for murder or treason. So members of the judiciary were then lobbied to ensure Bushiri was released on soft, in quote, bail with less stringent conditions, no attachment of his bank accounts and assets except the 5 million property in Centurion. Think about this. If they really wanted to hold on to Bushiri, they should have put a hold. Even his account should have been frozen. Do you know, they were not very strict with the bail conditions. What is 200,000 a bail for someone that is worth so much more than that? That is nothing. It's like taking a cup of water from an ocean. You know, a lot of stuff didn't make sense. This is why these suspicions and allegations sound credible. And then it says, both governments agreed to approve Chakwera's request for state visit and use it to smuggle Bushiri out via Air Force Base Waterloo. An advance team was then sent to South Africa to finalize logistical preparation for Bushiri's escape. The Bushiris were fetched from their home in Centurion in a Malawian embassy vehicle and issued with false diplomatic passports and had facial cosmetic changes applied on them. However, South African police, military and diplomatic officers at Waterloo raised questions about 3 passengers, 2 males and 1 female, whose names did not appear on Chakwera's pre-approved passenger list. With rumors that the Bushiris failed to report to the police station, the officials got more suspicious. At the height of 2 passengers resembling that of Bushiri and Mary, the fracas ensued as the military police wanted to detain the 3 passengers, but the Malawi sought Department of International Relations and Cooperation intervention. They dispatched officials to sort out the problem, and they agreed the 3 suspicious passengers would be allowed to board Chakwera's plane at OR Tambo. Chakwera's plane made a stopover at OR Tambo, 25 kilometers from Waterloo, to pick up the advance team, which included the Bushiris. Oh Lord, oh Lord. You know, it was already in the news that the Malawian president flight was not allowed to take off at the right time because there was some stuff going on. They didn't say what it was. And now they are exposing that this is the reason why they were not allowed to leave initially, because of this suspicion. Bushiri and Mary, with facial cosmetics to disguise them, were whisked onto a place through the diplomatic entrance. 3 members of the advance team were left behind to secure and dispose of Bushiri's assets. The plane left South Africa shortly after 10 p.m. last Friday and landed in Malawi after midnight. The Malawian government ordered a media blackout at the airport before Chakwera's arrival. The Bushiris disembarked from the plane immediately after Chakwera and his wife. Some journalists managed to capture footage of the Bushiris disembarking, but the Malawian intelligence later confiscated and classified it as top secret. Oh Lord, oh Lord. In South Africa, intelligence officers and some government officials lobbied and spawned journalists and editors to blame the country's porous borders and corruption for Bushiri's escape. A highly praised source said, even though the passports were not saying Bushiri, he was using a decoy name. Their surnames are not Bushiris, but they look like the Bushiris, with few cosmetic changes here and there. A bit on Bushiri's face and on the wife as well. There were few cosmetic changes. Those cosmetic changes fitted the profile of those people on the passports. The Faka stated the back and forth and the minister for Daiko, and by that time it was now obvious to the ordinary men and women in enforcement that no, it appears here there might be some smuggling taking place. They searched and searched, luggage to luggage, but they couldn't find the luggage with Bushiri's name. But they were people with diplomatic passports who looked like them. The faces does not fit this one of Bushiri's, but the height and eyes do somehow look the same. But then the government decided that these people, they are suspicious, who the military intelligence said they must be detained to ascertain that bona fides must be released. Then the Malawian president and the Malawian foreign minister started putting pressure on us, saying you have never treated us this way. We feel like you are ill-treating us. There is nothing sinister here. These are my people. They came here first. At Oaro Tambo, they used the diplomatic entrance to go to the tarmac. But even on that side, money exchanged hands. Another source said the Malawian intelligence plan involved getting Bushiri's children back to that country first to ensure they were not used as bait. The first conclusion was, let's get the kids here. The kids must be in Malawi before the operation starts. They were testing the waters with this operation so that if it failed, they were going to smuggle him through Mozambique. They would give him his passport and he would cross from Mozambique to Malawi. The other operation was remain here and let the wife come home. You face the music and we would intervene diplomatically for a lesser sentence. But the guy refused and told the president that no, he wants out. He does not even want to be in jail here. The 2 weeks he spent there are hell. The security cluster's insider. A military source said members of the army were concerned about the government's role in the matter because it sent a wrong message about the country. Everybody is surprised. The statement is issued by the Malawians, not by our foreign affairs. Why would a plane fly for 25 kilometers and land again with such huge cost? What was at stake? And why has the government not sent a diplomatic note of protest to Malawi? Why did the NPA not appeal the release of Bushiri on bail because it was obvious he was a flight risk? The sources asked. The diplomatic source said South Africans should make peace with the fact that Bushiri was not coming back to face justice. Oh my goodness. The Malawians have decided to try Bushiri that side. So there is no coming back for Bushiri. Interpol can't extradite him. They can only arrest Bushiri to make sure he appears in court in Malawi. This comes against the backdrop of media reports in Malawi last week that Chakwera played a role in Bushiri's smuggling and that he was protecting the fugitive. Lilongwe Magistrate Court this week released the Bushiris unconditionally after ruling the charges against him were illegal. They handed themselves in after International Criminal Police Organization, Interpol, issued a warrant for their arrest at the request of South African government. Why I said this is scary is that if the two governments can be so corrupt to the point in helping a fugitive escape, to the point in disobeying the law, committing a crime, because this is a crime, helping a fugitive to leave, helping a fugitive to evade justice, to not care about the victims of the so-called victims of that lost their money, to undermine the citizens of both countries. If the president of two countries can do this, if, I keep saying if because it's allegation, if they can do that, like seriously, like what is the hope for the nations? What is the hope if such a crime can be committed at such a high level? It is scary. It is absolutely scary. Anyways, I know this is a long read, but I wanted to read it directly from the papers. So it won't be my words. It's going to be the words according to how it's written in the papers. As always, whatever your opinions are, feel free to leave them in the comment section below. And with that, I'm going to say thank you for watching. Until the next time, guys. Bye-bye. Bye.